Usually I don't do this. Okay, I see you checking me out. I think I know what you looking about. You with your man, you don't want him to see it. It's alright with me. I know I drink a little bit much. And you think I'm talking crazy and such. I can't walk straight, but girl, I can see you're alright with me. Alright, I see you do something that I like. You looking mighty fine, them skin tight. You know what I mean? It's alright with me. Hold up.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? I know what time it is. It is the Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, brought to you by WDAP Radio and WDAP TV. I'm the fire starter, obviously. I know who I am. Andre the Torch Robinson, Challenger Community News Extraordinaire. Rise Up Families, first and foremost. You know, with my guys in the building, y'all already know. Y'all seen these two guys on here before. We're going to talk some great sports talk. I got Marcus the Alphabet, Mr. Friday Night Lights in the building, Mr. Friday himself, Mr. Football himself. And also, I got my guy, Quotes. My guy, Quotes. Terrell Harris is in the building, here to talk some real sports with us, too. Make sure y'all like and share the show. And as y'all can see down there, make sure y'all subscribe to the Rise Up Family channel on YouTube and the Rise Up Family page on Facebook. And just to let y'all know, it's real, all right? We got the call line that's going to be open, too, 716-481-8249. How y'all doing? Let's go. Let's get this joint jumping. What's good, y'all?
Man? How y'all doing, man? Y'all getting rain over there? It's been raining like hell over here, man. They done filled up the Rio Grande River again, man. We were in a damn drought over here.
Oh, where y'all now?
Yeah, man. It's craziness, man. Total craziness. All you people out there in New York, I need y'all at least on your bucket list. I need you to come to Texas at least one time. I need you to do that just at least one time in your life, man. It'll change your life. And come get some real barbecue, by the way. Best barbecue in the world. Y'all eat brisket up in New York? Y'all in Western New York, y'all eat brisket?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just check it.
Absolutely. Now, Quotes, what's good, my guy?
Oh man, same old. I'm excited. I'm real excited, man, to get into things. I got a lot on the chest today.
All right, a lot on the chest.
Get it off your chest, man. We're gonna get it off your chest, bro.
All right, Quotes. Obviously, I just sent you the first topic in your joint too, so you can see what's going up first. Listen, a lot of stuff going on in the off season of sports right now. We have no basketball, no football, no college basketball. Well, yes, we do. We got the United States arena. I mean, the football league going on. They got the championship coming up this week. Philadelphia and Birmingham. That should be a whole lot of fun coming up. You know, USFL football. But other than that, we have no NFL, no NBA, no NCAA, no NHL right now. Obviously, the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. We know about that as well. But we got a whole lot of sports talk, though. We got a whole lot of sports talk, I tell you that, regardless of that. And I got to start off this joint with some NBA talk. I got to start it off with some NBA talk. Right now. All right. So, Marcus the Alphabet and I have been all week sharing sports posts back and forth, talking all week. And the first one that hit me was this. And we're going to read it. I'm going to read it. And it says, James Harden had something to say about the Golden State Warriors after watching the game. The NBA Finals, obviously, with the Golden State Warriors won the fourth championship. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, you know that guy, and Klay Thompson and company. He said, cap or not, they never beat a healthy team. Let's not fool ourselves. No Ja Morant for the series. no Kawhi Leonard in 2017, no Kyrie Irving in 2015, no CP3 in 2018. Those are facts. Coming from James Harden. My question to you guys that's watching, tuning in live right now, make sure you like and share this to your brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, aunties, and everybody who's a sports fanatic right now, because we want to know, do you want the smoke on this or do you not want the smoke? All right, cap or not? I'm going to start with my guy, Quotes, because his head is shaking. Marcus' head is shaking. But does James Harden have a legitimate point here?
No, he does not. You cannot have a legitimate point and talk about someone who's winning championships when you cannot do that yourself. He doesn't know what it takes to win a championship, and you could throw the injury bug out there for every single season, to be honest with you. Giannis, when he just won the title, there was like 11 different All-Stars injured in that full season. That affected things heavily. James Harden himself was injured in that second round series against Milwaukee. So I don't really think the injuries take away from their titles at all. Don't disrespect the face of the new media, Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors like that. Come on.
Marcus the Alphabet.
Quotes, I'm 100% with you. How many times has James Harden been one of the top five paid players in the league? Numerous times. You ain't that guy. I think we need to start calling people out. They're getting these max deals. When I give you a max deal, I expect you to be one of the top players in the league, and I expect you to take me to championships. You started off in Oklahoma City playing with Kevin Durant, playing with Russell Westbrook, playing with Serge Ibaka. Okay? You didn't do anything there. You go to Houston. You never did anything there. And they paid you to be like their number one guy. You never did anything over there. And your boy came down there too. Then you try to build a super team in Brooklyn. You don't do anything over there. Dude, shh. Silent. What did y'all remember Dragonfly Jones back in the day? Dragonfly Jones on the Martin Show. Silence. I don't want to hear from you, bro. You're not that guy. You got some guys that are just, when I use the term alphas, that guy who can take a team. And at least, Allen Iverson was kind of in the same situation, but at least he took those 76ers team to the championship, right? When have you ever been to the championship? You get to the playoffs, you might get to the Western Conference Finals, and you choke. That's what you do. Chris Paul, I love Chris Paul. You're another one of those guys. You get all of this money, and then they try to make you that guy. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. So I don't really want to hear anything from James Harden because he ain't that dude. This is one of the greatest. The Golden State Warriors are the dynasty of this generation. We had our the 90s Bulls, the 80s Celtics and Lakers, the 90s Bulls, the early 2000s, the late 90s Kobe Shaq Lakers, the early 2000s Spurs, the early 2000 Bad Boys Spurs, and now it's the Golden State Warriors. That's what it is. From the 2010s to the 2020s is the Golden State Warriors. Silence. I don't want to hear anything from him. Next, move along.
Moving on, right? Y'all like that. By the way, if you just tuning in right now, this is Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, WDAP Radio, WDAP TV. I got my guy, Marcus the Alphabet. I got Terrell Quotes Harris in the building, and the fire starter is here with y'all. We kicking off the show talking about James Harden. It sounds like he's sipped a little bit of the hater juice, first and foremost. Mr. OKC itself, who left OKC to be a superstar, but it just really hasn't worked out at him being a superstar, even though he's got superstar qualities and superstar accolades as far as being able to shoot and being a good point guard and being a top 5 player, right? Like Marcus mentioned. But when it comes down to winning the championship has really eluded this guy. So
Yeah.
and then if I'm being honest, Marcus,
And one more thing, Dre. He carries every damn time he goes down the floor. Can we please say that? Can we please? You travel and you carry every time you go down the court. Every single time. How many steps do you get before you go to the basket? 2? This dude be taking 3 and 4 and 5. I'm like, dude, he be lifting his pivot foot. I've never seen a guy just like travel on every time down the court. This dude is traveling. Just putting that out there. We really need to start addressing that.
I will say this.
Quote, yes. He went down the lineage of James Harden, my guy, the alphabet went down, you know how you go down your alphabets, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yes, sir.
Mike went down James Harden's tree, went down his lineage tree as far as OKC, and then, leaving OKC, being a Houston Rocket, and then going from the Houston Rockets all the way to Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn didn't work. He was injured, hobbled up a little bit. It didn't work there. Then he went to Philly. Well, here's my thing, James Harden. As much as you are a good player, and I respect both of your opinions, he's making 47 million clamshells, by the way. 47 million clamshells to be a guy who I feel like is being thrown around like a rag doll. Because I was hearing some stuff in Philadelphia recently saying that they are second guessing.
Yeah. I got a comparison for you. James Harden is the Kirk Cousins of the NBA.
Whoa. Whoa. I want to hear this.
James Harden is a Kirk. This dude's been fleecing teams. He's been fleecing teams his entire career. And he kind of tricks you. It's like, okay, this guy, he could be our guy. He can be our go-to guy. He's a really good player. And then in the playoffs, this guy shows you. He gets you there. He has a phenomenal season. You're like, okay, maybe this is the year he kind of gets over the hump. He's not that guy. And we have to get to a point with players in any sport. You're like, he's just not that guy.
Another player that keeps getting max contracts that I'll put in that is Bradley Beal.
He just signed a deal today.
Yeah, he's just not it for me.
You're not. And look, I get it. Everybody, everybody's not going to win a championship. You look at some of the great players.
I froze up like James Harden do when it comes down. When it comes down to it, I'm sitting up here talking about James Harden, and my whole thing just froze. Y'all saw that? That was perfect timing. That this game froze because I was just about to talk about James Harden and what he does in big situations. Freezing.
Well, I just said it. He is the Kirk Cousins of the NBA, getting max deals, getting top 5 deals, and ain't did nothing. Now I get it. I totally get it. Look, it is hard to win championships. I get it, and I hate when players are just strictly judged off of championships. It's he's this guy. I hate when Shaq sits up there and berates Charles Barkley. On the show. Oh, what you know about championships, Chuck? It's like, bro, let's not forget you played with Dwayne Wade. You played with Kobe Bryant for a lot of your career. What did you win after Kobe and Dwayne Wade? You got to have help. So we saw guys like Karl Malone not win championship. We saw guys like Patrick Ewing not win a championship. We saw guys like Reggie Miller not win a championship. But those guys were at least taking their guys to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals. Dude, you get these deals and you just freeze up, bro. You're not that guy. And you have to come to the conclusion with some people. It's like, okay, he's a very, very good player. He's a very good player. He's not a great player. Plain and simple.
My bold prediction for James Harden is that by the end of this season, by the end of this season, we will look at James Harden and talk about James Harden the same way we do John Wall or Russell Westbrook. or players as those such in that caliber, we will be talking about James Harden the same way by the end of this season.
Plain and
Wow,
simple.
you in agreement? You in agreement with that, Marcus? John Wall?
He's a very good player. And look, you can you can forge out a nice little career up in there. I put some on the Alphabet Football Show group page today, and Chase what's the backup quarterback, Chase Daniels. This dude has made nearly $50 million and has started 5 games. He started 5 games since 2013, and he has a career earnings of $50 million. He's a backup quarterback, and you have to come to the realization with certain things like this just ain't it. It ain't working. What is the definition of madness? What's the definition?
Insanity. It's the same thing. Repeating the same thing over and getting the same result.
Same result, man. You ain't that dude.
All right. Well, James Harden, if I was you, I would just leave the Golden State Warriors. Matter of fact, maybe you need to go to the Golden State Warriors so you can win a championship too. But there's something else that I'm kind of interested in bringing up too, as far as James Harden. Marcus, you brought up the tree. Have you noticed James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, all from the OKC tree? And if Kevin Durant didn't go to the Warriors,
none of them would have rings. None of them would have rings.
And none of them would have rings. Now, here's my question to you guys before we get to the next topic. Is that because of the type of player they are? Or is that because of the type of coaching they've been around for their career? Which one is more significant?
I think it's the type of players that they are. All 3 of them are ball dominant players. They're all ball dominant players, especially Russell Westbrook. They are the kind of guys. They're gonna light up the stat. If you're playing fantasy basketball, which I don't, I play fantasy football. But if you're a fantasy basketball, you play in fantasy basketball leagues. All 3 of them are great for you, but they're not the kind of guy. They're not facilitators like a LeBron James. They are ball dominant, on the ball players. And if they don't have the ball, they're basically look how many shots Russell Westbrook takes a game. I mean, the guy he's got a triple-double. Yeah, like 30 shots. He took like 35 shots. So, yeah. So, I just think it's their style of play. I think all 3 of them is like their style of play. That's my opinion on it.
Quotes, your thought.
I think it's a mix of both. Scott Brooks was kind of in the Mark Jackson position where he could do some things, but he wasn't going to elevate them past a certain point. And that hurt them in their young years.
Oh, wait a minute. Quote, how dare you egregiously put Scotty Brooks and Mike Jackson in the same category? No, you didn't just put them in the same boat. Is that what I just heard?
Yes and no. I don't think Scott Brooks is as good a coach as Mark Jackson. No, that's
okay.
Long shot. Just in the same position and same role as a head coach on the team at the time that they were coaching. We saw when Steve Kerr made the switch over to Golden State, how he took them to the next level. They never got that coach in OKC in the time that they had all 3 that could get them to the next level. And it is partially the players they are. Westbrook, I won't even start with Westbrook. Harden, for example, his style of play is not going to win you a championship as the guy. It's just not. He could get you some buckets. He could be a second option maybe, but he's not going to be the guy on a championship team playing that ISO ball. Look at Carmelo Anthony and why he never got a chip, because he wanted to be the guy so bad and play that ISO ball while being the guy so bad. He gave up team success and stuff for individual stats at times, and that's what James Harden has done his whole career.
And if Kyrie Irving didn't play with LeBron for a couple of years, he'd be in the same damn boat, because you see what he's all about too. You see what Kyrie Irving's all about too. Another one just like that.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I think Kyrie Irving has more leadership skills though than the other 3. But if I look at all of these players that's being mentioned, leadership is what stands out to me the most. James
He's
Harden.
he's twice as good of a leader as all of them, but 2 times 0 is still 0.
Damn right it is. Damn right it is. I respect it, even though Kyrie, I think, got one. He got one.
He got one with that's what I said. If he didn't play with LeBron, he wouldn't even have that one. He'd be in the same boat as the other cats because he's another one that's ball dominant, and you can't do that. Like after a while, guys get tired of that, man. We saw one of the greatest ISO players ever in Allen Iverson. As great as he was, he never won anything. It's like, bro, you cannot be out there and use up the whole shot clock. 24-second shot clock, and you done held onto the ball for 20 seconds. So now you're dribbling around and crossing everybody up. You're not going to win like that.
Right. But I think leadership is super important as far as these guys. I think they lack it for top 5 players, which every single one of them has been top 5 players in the league. Maybe Kyrie Irving's a little questionable, but the leadership aspect is important. And I think that also comes from the lineage of coaching. I'm going to put that out there. I think the way these players are is because of the traits that they already possess, but the leadership that they were brung up under also has not helped them in a way that makes them champions. If we look at Russell Westbrook, Scotty Brooks, Billy Donovan, the Washington coach went back to Scotty Brooks again. Now he was a Laker, then he was a Laker. I mean, come on. What real coaching has he had? We look at James Harden. James Harden had a coach that didn't even believe in defense, and Mike D'Antoni, who switched him from shooting guard to point guard. Scotty Brooks. You know what I mean?
Whoa, don't blame that on Mike D'Antoni. James Harden doesn't believe in defense either. That was a match.
Oh, that's okay. But he didn't believe in defense, which doesn't make James Harden a better player. That's my thing. The coaching, if we talk about leadership, you got to be able to at least offer something to a player to make them better. That's what it's all about. Sports is all about elevation and becoming a champ, not just to stay around and
you look at a guy like Allen Iverson. At least for a few years, he had Larry Brown, and Larry Brown stayed on his ass. I think you need to have a coach like that who's able. And then you got some guys, they just have high IQ, like LeBron James. Can you imagine LeBron James with like a Greg Popovich? Can you imagine what he could have did for his career?
Yeah, but here's the problem. Mm-hmm. I don't think, and as we've seen, LeBron James is a great leader, which has made him more successful, even though LeBron hasn't really had the greatest of coaching. But his leadership aspect.
That's what I'm saying. His basketball IQ is off the charts. His basketball IQ is off the charts.
So, I mean, it is what it is as far as those. But I honestly feel like James Harden don't need to be saying much of nothing.
No. Also, Silence. Yeah. Hey, Dre, I want to answer. Somebody's in the comments that Jerry Romero, he said something here. He said Mike Leach says that they need to extend the college football playoffs. I'm gonna say this real quick because we got other stuff, but I like to jump in sometime and answer some of the questions.
Good.
It's 4 teams right now, right? It's 4 teams. If they made it a 16 playoff, the 7th team will complain. If they made it an 18 playoff, the 9th team will complain. If they made it a 10 playoff teams, the 11th team will. That you will never be satisfied. There's 150 Division I colleges out there, and anytime that you try to extend the playoffs, there's going to be another team. There's going to be another whoever's the team that gets locked out. They're going to have a gripe. So you will never. Hell, they do for college basketball. Don't they do like 64 teams? And you still have people complain. There's 64 teams. And people, we got cheated. Bro, there's 64 teams. If you're not one of the top 64 teams in the country, I don't want to hear it. So with Mike Leach, who really hasn't done crap since he was at Texas Tech. I remember when he was at Texas Tech and got fired for abusing players. You really don't. Another one that don't need to be saying nothing. So I just wanted to address that. You're never gonna. Whenever the playoffs, you're never going to be satisfied. The NFL's tried to do it now and make it to the, where we're going to let 7 teams in. All you're basically doing is rewarding mediocrity, in my opinion. When you start letting teams that are barely 500 or sub 500, you're letting.
Oh yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
we definitely not doing that.
That's all you're doing is you're making me. Oh well, we made the playoffs. Yes, bro. It's. One year, I think the Carolina Panthers made the playoffs at 7-8-1. 7-8, and because they won their crappy division, they get a home playoff game over a team that's like 11-6. Come on, bro, 11-5, and you get a home playoff game. Stop it.
All right, let's read a comment and go to the next one. It says, if we're really being honest, the Nets were the biggest disappointment in NBA history. They had 3 of the top 5 offensive players in the NBA on the same team, and they never sniffed the title. James Harden needs to answer about that.
Second biggest disappointment in NBA history. That 2010 Lakers team with Nash and Kobe and Dwight, to me, will always be the biggest disappointment in league history.
What's the team that lost to the Denver Nuggets in the first round of the playoffs with Andrew McDyess and Mutombo, and they lost in the first round? I forget who it was. That was pretty bad too. They lost to them in the first round of the playoffs. I forget what it was. I have to check that out.
Absolutely. All right. Speaking on those Warriors that James Harden was talking about. Do these guys deserve a max deal? We are talking about Andrew Wiggins and the pool party that is Jordan Poole. There's news that Jordan Poole may be getting paid $20 million plus coming up. Andrew Wiggins may be looking for a big deal contract. Your thoughts? Go ahead and run it, you guys.
One or both of them might get a max deal, but the way that happens, the only way that happens is, unfortunately, when I say this, I know people are gonna freak out when I say this. Klay Thompson's not going to be on your team. Unfortunately, that's you have to start prioritizing. And I mean, as much as he's done for the Golden State Warriors organization, he kind of disappointed me. You kind of start seeing he kind of starts shaking some of the rust off. But when we, back in the day when we thought about the Golden State Warriors, we thought about the Splash Brothers, right? 2 of the greatest shooters on the floor at the same time. And from what I saw with Klay, and maybe he can gain that back. But I think when you start having those lower leg injuries like that and tearing your ACL and stuff like that, your explosiveness, your change of direction, and all of that good stuff, your inability to jump off the ground, and use your legs for your 3-point shot. You just saw him kind of take a step back this year. I would like to see what he could do, with another year of being healthy, further removed from that injury. But to me, just from the eye test with me, he did not look like the same player. So I think, if you want to have continuity, you have to, we saw the Patriots for a long time have success because they kept their core together, but then they would get rid of a guy a year early instead of a year late. And I think if you want to make that deal with Andrew Wiggins and Poole, then you're probably going to have to say goodbye to Klay Thompson, unfortunately. Your mic is off, Dre.
Yeah, I got you. My fault. DeAndre said Wiggins don't. He's a system guy. I would give Poole a max deal, though, especially since they're probably going to trade Klay. Now, quotes. What was your thoughts on this?
Here's what I will say. Deserving of a max contract, Wiggins is a lot more valuable to this Golden State team than I think a lot of people realize, especially on the defensive end. I think also being with Draymond and picking up on his defensive intensity has helped Andrew Wiggins a lot, and I think he's still improving as well. I would give Andrew Wiggins a max contract. Jordan Poole, I would not at the current juncture because we haven't seen consistency. He had a great year for what it was this year, but we haven't seen consistency out of Jordan Poole yet. Now, on the Klay Thompson front, I'm packaging that $40 million contract in a trade for Kyrie. I'm not going to lie to you. They would be my surprise suitor to jump in with that contract that needs to go to swoop in and get Kyrie on that player option.
Who?
Kyrie Irving.
Who are you trading?
Klay Thompson and that $40 million contract.
Oh, okay.
I'm packaging that in some kind of package for Kyrie, which I don't think will take a lot much more considering how the Nets feel about Kyrie with the saga going on and all the drama that's come with it.
Well, interesting that you mentioned that Kyrie opted in to his
Today,
deal.
right? It was today, right? Yesterday?
He opted in last night to the deal. That doesn't mean that the Nets can't turn around and trade him. That just means that he opted into his deal. I don't know, man. I think that the Nets are probably going to keep.
Clay's definitely got to go
to try to keep Kevin Durant there. I mean, you got to do something to keep, because obviously I was listening to some Brooklyn Nets reporters, and they were saying that Kevin Durant has been in conversations with the owners about some of these decisions that's being made with the team. So I'm sure Kyrie Irving opting is one to keep Kevin Durant comfortable with being a Brooklyn Net. I doubt he goes anywhere. But as far as Jordan Poole is concerned, Jordan Poole definitely played. He definitely has potential, but I need to see more from Jordan Poole. If we're talking about Andrew Wiggins, the guy who was top speed that Cleveland decided to not keep, the guy who's been to 3 different teams, I think he's pretty much consistently been a 15 to 18 point player per season. Defensively, he did some things in the playoffs. I would give him a short-term max deal, maybe, because he is very important. But if you keep these two guys, to me, I now have to go to the table if I'm Golden State, and I have to have a conversation with Klay Thompson, because I really don't want to give up Klay Thompson either. I just don't. So if you can work out a small deal, small max deal, paying each one of them $20 million a piece, all three, I'm fine with that. 20, 30 million a piece, I'm fine with that. But the 40s and 50s, I don't think Klay Thompson is that player anymore. I don't think Jordan Poole has done enough of that. And I think Andrew Wiggins, I need to see a real breakout season where he's like top 10 in some category before I start giving out max deals.
He was an all-star starter. What more you want?
He could be an all-star starter, sir. You know who else was an all-star starter? Russell Westbrook.
I mean, he was a league MVP. So, I mean, if you want to compare Andrew Wiggins to a league MVP, hey.
I mean, I'm talking about the Russell Westbrook now, though.
Oh, chill out.
Speaking of Russell Westbrook, we got to get into more. Speaking of Russell Westbrook, we got another one. Russell Westbrook says he might be going back to OKC this offseason.
This dude, man, this dude be all over the place, man. He really, for years they were like, oh, he's from California, man. Let's get him to California, dude. You just ain't that guy.
Well, hold on, Marcus. Speaking of which, because there's a second part to that, I found a nice little stat here.
What do they say?
He's not Dak Prescott. Don't do that.
Oh,
do not compare Westbrook to Dak Prescott.
Russell Westbrook is equivalent to Dak Prescott. Dak is the Russell Westbrook of the NFL. A bunch of cool stats, but nothing great when it matters. So my question is to you guys: is somebody blowing smoke, or do you want the smoke? Are they blowing smoke, or do you want the smoke? Talk about each one.
Here's the thing with that. In my opinion, in basketball, you have more control over your success. I really do believe that. Like one guy can make more of a difference in a game in basketball than one guy can make in a difference in a football game. 5-on-5 versus 11-on-11. You could be we've seen great quarterbacks. We have seen great quarterbacks not have success, not win championships because everything has to be perfect around you. We saw Jim Kelly go to 4 Super Bowls and never win a championship. We saw Dan Marino play all of these years and never win a championship. We saw John Elway go to a whole bunch of Super Bowls until he got a running game, didn't win a championship. We saw Brett Favre play for 20 years, won one championship. So to me, that's kind of Russell Westbrook has played on awesome teams. He's played again. People keep forgetting about those Oklahoma City teams, the Houston Rocket team he was on with him and Harden. It's the guy is a ball. He throws up a bunch of shots, and people praise him for having triple doubles. But it's like Shannon Sharp says, empty calories. Empty calories. As a quarterback, I don't care how good you are. If your offensive line ain't blocking, it doesn't matter what the hell you do. So to me, and I know I'll probably take some criticism. Oh, Marcus, you're a Cowboys fan. You're defending Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott could definitely do more. But Russell Westbrook, when you're getting a max deal and you're having all of these triple doubles and you're not doing anything, I think it's a bad comparison.
So I like how Marcus the Alphabets is over here starting trouble again. Here he go again, starting trouble. Every show you can catch Marcus Betts at one point in time starting trouble over here, or he tried to defend somebody that is closest to his heart. I tell you, Marcus the Alphabets, I've been watching you for so long, and I have to tell you, I have to respect the fact that you are so consistent on who you protect at the heart. The heart. You protected Dak Prescott. Oh, no. That didn't mean I was going to let you sit up here and try to defend that shit. You don't get to defend that. Yes.
But Dre, answer this, though. Before the Cowboys paid Dak Prescott, what did I say?
Oh, you did.
What did I say? I said if you cannot give this when you give guys max deals like that. It takes away. He has got to be a force multiplier. I've said that a million times. I'm gonna call it right now. Aaron Rodgers takes a step back this year. You want to make $50 million and lose Devontae Adams? Okay, you go right ahead. You're the highest paid quarterback in the league, and you're out there with nobody at wide receiver. So you can go out there and you can be the max guy, you making all the money or whatever. You ain't gonna have much of a team around you. But the thing with Westbrook is he has had a good team around him. He has had good teams around him. He couldn't do anything with it.
So Marcus the Alphabets, once again, we gave him opportunity to once again protect what's closest to his heart. Sir, let's not sit up here and act like there's no comparison here. There is some comparison. Dak Prescott puts up big numbers. He's put up some big numbers.
Yes.
But when it comes to the playoffs, he's went and I mean early.
I got you.
I ain't done. When it comes to Russell Westbrook, if you look at his career, he puts up triple doubles and good numbers, and when the playoffs come, he's went. Has
Westbrook ever won an MVP?
Yes.
Yes. You know who else that sounds a lot like? Dak Prescott's never won an MVP. But you know who has? Aaron Rodgers has.
Aaron Rodgers has a ring. Aaron Rodgers has a ring.
Aaron Rodgers got rings though, baby. He got a ring now, baby.
He got. When's the last time he won a ring? 3 consecutive MVPs, and then this week, and then he wins the MVP, and the very next week gets bounced by the San Francisco 49ers, not because he played terrible, but because his threat was that on him. And Dre, I have defended Aaron Rodgers. That loss for Aaron Rodgers, and quotes, I know that you don't. Aaron Rodgers did not lose that game. Them blocking the punt is what had them lose that game. But who gets the blame for it? Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yes, when you're a multiple-time league MVP and you get paid the salary that you do, you're not expected to put up 10 points in a playoff game. I'm sorry.
Okay, and that's fine. Okay, and that's fine. So to me, Russell Westbrook is more like he's not like Dak. He's not like Dak Prescott. He's more like Aaron Rodgers.
No, hell no, hell no.
I'll take Phillip Rivers.
No, Marcus over here protecting matters of the heart again because he has got Dak Prescott in this conversation. Marcus, I can't believe you would even put Aaron Rodgers and Russell Westbrook in the same conversation. How dare you?
Because they expect him to carry a heavy load. And I put that on the Green Bay Packers front office because, look, we got to call it out what it is. You messed up when you drafted Jordan Love. They can spin it any way that they want. You could have drafted Justin Jefferson. You could have drafted Justin Jefferson. You could have drafted T. Higgins. You could have drafted Chase Claypool, and you draft a quarterback who's going into his 3rd or 4th year who has started one game.
Sir, Marcus,
yeah.
I got to do this to you, sir.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you tried to just compare Russell Westbrook to Aaron Rodgers instead of your man, Dak Prescott. I can't believe
Prescott has never won an MVP.
I'm about to get on both of y'all in a second. Just know that.
Dak Prescott has never won he's never won an MVP. Dak Prescott is a 4th round. He's a 4th round pick quarterback who wasn't even supposed to be the starter. Tony Romo, that team was built for Tony Romo. Dak Prescott was not supposed to be the starting quarterback of the Cowboys, but Aaron Rodgers was. And ever since he won that Super Bowl, they've gone 13-3, and get bounced by the 49ers 2 years in a row, and get bounced by the 49ers 3 years in a row, right? It's 3 years in a row, right?
3.
And you lose 3 straight years to Jimmy G? Yes, that's
no. Wrong. He lost to
Tom Brady. He lost to Tom Brady last year.
He lost to Colin Kaepernick, the first one, the 49ers, when he lost the first time the 49ers. That was Colin Kaepernick and Frank Warren.
Carved them up that night, man. That wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Yeah, that was.
I'm talking about the past 3 years. I'm talking about he lost twice to the 49ers and once to Tom Brady, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. You can lose it. You can lose to Tom Brady. You can't lose to Jimmy G. I'm sorry. You can't lose to Jimmy G.
Well.
And it's not on him. It's not on him.
The 49ers defense was damn good the first one. They shellacked. They shellacked.
What they do? They got the blueprint on him. You know what they do? They were double teaming Devontae Adams, and they were daring whoever the number 2 was, whether it was Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Alan Lazard on the other side, to beat them, and they couldn't. That's what it was. They took Devontae Adams out the game. His go-to guy. That's what they did.
Right. Real rap though. Let's get to another topic. These two ain't no slouches. As you can see, Kobe Bryant and Stephen Curry both won games and both won championships in year 13. Both won All-Star MVPs. Both won their 4th ring on the road. Both won Finals MVP. we've been having conversations on LeBron James and Stephen Curry. But do we really need to be having a conversation if Stephen Curry wins a fifth? Is he just as good as Kobe Bryant?
I mean, we got to start. This year was the year that we really start. I believe people really start looking at Steph Curry in a different light. You know, he's always just kind of been known as a great shooter, but I think this year people are starting to see you know that he's really an all-time great. And there's people now that are trying to move him into the top 10. I don't know if I'm ready to put Steph Curry in the top 10 yet. I don't know if I'm ready to put him there yet. But, if he wins a fifth ring, oh, yeah, he's definitely – we will revisit this again next year, because I believe if they keep that team together and maybe or maybe add a piece, like Quotes is saying, maybe if they added a guy like Kyrie Irving, look out. look out. I mean, because that would give them – I mean, basically – you got two guys who can bring the ball up the floor, and Steph and Kyrie, and that would really leave Steph more to play that two guard and come off of screens and stuff like that. I think if they were to acquire a guy like Kyrie Irving, I think they could take it to a whole nother level. So, we will revisit this time next year and see what type of offseason moves are made. But that this is a question that we're going to have to start thinking about. Where on the mantle does Stephen Curry rank?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, you are watching Rise Up Unlimited, the radio show, WDAP Radio, WDAP TV. I am on the show with Marcus the Alphabets, the Friday Night Lights guy, the Alpha, who hopefully sooner or later is going to be coming back with Alphabets Bits, man. I was having a whole lot of fun with it. Yes, Alphabets Bits. I was having a lot of fun with that. And I got my guy Quotes in the building. Terrell Harris is in the building, of course, doing what he do. The call line is open. Bang my line. 716-481-8249. You can talk about anything we've talked about. Don't be afraid to call my line. All right. I got the beautiful line today. Make sure you call my line. And Quotes, what's your thoughts on Kobe?
Hey,
we need to let this.
Real quick before you go, Quotes, I forgot to say it, man. Quick shout out to my co-host, Ramona Diehard. She's homesick right now, man. Sending love to her, man. Hope she gets well soon, man. It kind of slipped my mind. We've been talking, having such a hot show, but I just want to give her a shout out real quick.
Prayers to Ramona Di and the family right now, for sure.
Man. Whoa. We need to let this man, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, man. I am sick of everyone bringing up Kobe Bryant in every conversation. What that man, Jason Tatum, did with the text to Kobe and all that was sick, let me tell you. And I'm sick of how another thing they do with Kobe Bryant is every year there's another player that's just this crazy Kobe fanatic that they got to compare to Kobe. Last year it was Devin Booker. This year they did it with Jason Tatum. Now for anyone else that they want to build up their legacy, they got to compare it to Kobe now to try and reach and stuff. And I think we really just need to let Kobe rest in peace, man. For real.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I do not like this conversation whatsoever. I think it's demonstrative to two greats. I don't think that they need to compare Stephen Curry to Kobe Bryant, even though Stephen Curry is a combo guy. The other one is a shooting guard, from what we understand. I do not. Some things are better left. Marcus, you understand this. Some things, Quotes, you understand this, are better left unsaid. And I think this is one of those things that is just better left unsaid.
Well, in sports, that's what we do. When you talk sports talk and just sports in general,
I get it.
People always, because there's always a guy coming up, behind these guys here. Every year there's a new guy coming up, It's that it guy, Last year, the it guy was, like you said, Devin Booker. In the NFL, the it guy was Joe Burrow. He comes back. If if Trevor Lawrence goes out and has a great year this year, or Tua goes out and has a great year this year, look at you know what I'm saying? That's just what we do, you know. That's what we do, you know. But you know, you let people enjoy players for what they are, you know, enjoy them, you know, because you know we start seeing, you know, we starting to see, you know, players retire, you know. Our favorites retiring, and you know, enjoy them while they're playing, because it doesn't last forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, we got to get to another topic. Is this the only way to save Kevin Durant's legacy?
No, that's irrelevant.
No, I don't. Look, how old is he now? What's he like, in his early 30s? He's younger than LeBron. Like, what's LeBron, 37, 38? I think KD's like 34 maybe. He still has good years. He's still 6 feet tall. He's still 6'11". He's still, you know, he's still got unlimited range. His thing, you got to put some guys around him that accentuate his game. We've learned in all different sports, whether it's football or baseball or basketball. You know, you remember back in the day, the Dream Team, Eagles team. Oh, we got Vic and we got this guy. And we got all of these different players. Sports is about teamwork, and it's about chemistry, and it's about getting guys together that fit your system. And when you throw guys out there, you know, we saw last year with the Rams, right? With the LA Rams. They went and they got, you know, Sony Michel, and they went and got they went and got, you know, Von Miller, and they went and got Odell Beckham Jr. And for those first couple of games, they were getting their ass kicked because guys were acclimating to it, right? And then they eventually got their chemistry and they went on and won. But when you just throw guys together, a lot of time, without, you know, that first year LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade got together, they didn't win the championship that year, did they? You know, and everybody was, oh man, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, right?
I want to say right? No. The answer is no.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
First year.
Was that the Dallas series?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
Dallas. That was the Dallas series. And you know, you can go out there, you can get, you know, when they went and got you know, and they tried to surround, you know, KD with all these, you know, good players up in Brooklyn, it just hasn't panned out. You've got to have chemistry. You've got to have guys that know their role. You can't have 3 guys. You know, we were just talking about, you know, Westbrook and Harden and KD. You can't have a bunch of guys who are ball dominant guys. You got to have unfortunately, you have to have your Draymonds. You have to have your Charles Oakleys. You have to have your Dennis Rodmans. You have to have your role player guys, your Carlos Boozers. You know, you got to have you got to have guys like that are Udonis Haslams, those garbage can guys that you know, lunch pail guys that come in there and might get you, you know, 7 or 8 points and 10 rebounds. You know, but you want to go get a bunch of scores together and then wait a minute. I just caught that. By that definition of garbage can, are you saying Draymond Green is a garbage can? Yes, I told you that. He's and what I mean by garbage can, he's one of those guys that does the dirty work,
grit and grind in the trenches type.
That's what I mean.
I like messing with Marcus every single time.
That's what I'm saying. You can't have look. As awesome as it would be, you know, you see all these people like, oh man, what if you put these players together? Like, you know, put Kobe and Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson on the same team. It would never have worked. You want to know why? Because all of them shoot the ball, are used to taking the lion's share of shots on their team. You got to have that one guy who's like, I don't care. Dennis Rodman never scored the basketball. His job was to rebound, period. That's why they brought him there, and that's why he could score. By the way,
For folks who don't know about Dennis Rodman, he could score the basketball. By the way, Ramona Dye said KD is 33, James is 37. He said, she said, hey, they ran into the Germinator. The Germinator. I like how she just explained Dirk Nowitzki called him the Germinator. Absolutely.
Terminator. You got to have guys like that. KD needs to find, these super teams that these guys be trying to, these younger cats be trying to put together now. You got to get the right mix of guys, because if not, you're just going to have a bunch of guys out there flailing out there and a bunch of guys just shooting the basketball and not, we saw one of the greatest combos ever, Shaq and Kobe. Why didn't Shaq and Kobe work out?
Too much ego, obviously.
They worked out. I mean, they had the three-peat. They worked out.
But I'm saying, can you imagine how much more they could have won? They start having success, and that's what usually happens. You get guys, I'm not getting enough credit. And I've seen it firsthand with my Cowboys, with Jimmy and Jerry. You got to have you got to have some people that kind of step in the background. It's kind of like, I don't care about all of that. I don't have to be the leading scorer. I don't have to have all these triple doubles. I want to contribute. The reason why Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and LeBron kind of worked out, because Chris Bosh took a major step back because he was the go-to guy in Toronto. Dwayne Wade took a major step back. He was what did they used to call it? Wade County. This is my house.
Wade took a step back because of them knees, not because it was the knees.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Kevin Love, he took a back seat on those Cleveland teams because he was the man over in Minnesota. So you have to have guys that are willing to step back, put their egos to the side, and think about the overall team. You can't have 3 or 4 guys out there just launching shots all day long. So I think if KD's able to find some guys that are more role players that can help him out, I think he'll be all right.
Can I say the one thing that everyone seems to be scared to say in the Kevin Durant conversation? Please. Kevin Durant's problem is that he is weak and soft mentally.
Like McDonald's ice cream?
Exactly. Soft serve. You should not be a superstar at the level of Kevin Durant and get so sensitive every time someone on Twitter disagrees with you or doesn't like your play or criticizes you in any way, shape, or form. He is too weak-minded, and he lets what the media and what fans say gets to him, and it affects him on the court, and we have seen it time and time again with him.
Well, you look at him. You look at Westbrook too, and this goes back to our original conversation. Like now, don't get me wrong, okay? When somebody's sitting up there cussing your mama out in the bleachers or cussing your wife out, we're not condoning that. I'm saying though, when I'm with you, I'm with you, quotes. It's like he has to retaliate on everything. Hey man, you could have. You don't know. Him. He's very thin skinned.
Yeah.
Harden is very thin skinned. Baker Mayfield is very thin skinned. And you notice the same thing starts occurring with guys like this. And part of it too, you have to understand that these players, they play in the social media age. And I don't know how some of the guys back in the day would have dealt with, when people critique everything you do. You got some guy sitting in his mama's basement, making fun of you and stuff, calling you Westbrook. I'm sure that annoys you, but you gotta get past stuff like that. You gotta, and I'm with you, quotes, very thin skinned. And it's like you gotta be able to have like the ass of a duck, man. You gotta let that stuff, fall off of you, man.
All right. With that being said, again, you are watching the Rise Up Unlimited radio show, WDAP Radio TV, as well. Spreaker.com, YouTube, Firestarters here, obviously, with the alphabets. And my guy, Quotes, is in the building. You're getting some great sports talk here. Make sure you like and share, and make sure you subscribe. Obviously, the Rise Up Family channel on YouTube and on the Rise Up Family page on Facebook. Make sure you do that. visit our network too, man. We be putting some things in the network that is news. There's a lot of great news in there. All right. Now with news comes a new segment. All right. Comes a new little thing that we're gonna do today. I don't usually do this. Most shows do it, but it's a fun fact, obviously, before we get into name two. All right. Name two, pick one. We're gonna get into that in just a moment. But here's a fun fact about the guys we was just talking about: Kobe Bryant, Stephen Curry. There are 3 players to have won multiple championships without a top 75 teammate. Can you name the third? I gave you Kobe Bryant and Stephen Curry. Can you give me the third player? Wow. Silence is deafening. Y'all can call 716-481-8249 if you find out the answer to that question during the show. I'm not even going to give it to you now. I'll let somebody call in and give me the answer to that. But speaking of which, we talked about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr. Yeah. So Steve Kerr, this is the joke of the day right here. All right. Joke of the day. I have equal respect for Michael and LeBron. They both gave me 3 rings. A little fun poke, little poke from Steve Kerr at LeBron James, but nevertheless, pretty funny on the GOAT debate between LeBron and Michael. Now, we need to get into pick two. Pick two.
Steve Kerr, you're lucky that they got rid of Mark Jackson. Just putting that out there while you cracking jokes and stuff. Be lucky that they just got rid of Mark Jackson. Because just for the record, and I'll say this and I'll piss people off when I say it, those championships should have been Mark Jackson. Just putting that out there.
Oh, I'm glad that you see it my way. Marcus the Alphabets. All right. So now we are on to pick two. You got to take one. Pick two, take one. This was up on social media, and we pretty much picked two. All right. Pick two. We're going to do pick two, period. We're not going to do just NFL players. All right. We're going to make you choose between two. All right. So the first segment is Jason Tatum or Bradley Beal. Jason Tatum or Bradley Beal. You can call in too, 716-481-8249. It's down there on the ticker right there. Nobody should say they can't see it. It's right there. Who are you choosing? Are you taking Jason Tatum or are you taking Bradley Beal? I'll start with quotes and then Marcus.
I want to say Tatum so bad, but I have so much respect for Beal as an elite bag chaser for keep getting these max contracts and then doing nothing of relevance or barely even getting to the playoffs. Just as bag chasers, Bradley Beal is the dude, but as talent-wise, it's easily Jason Tatum. Not even close.
Wow. What a shocker. What a shocker, quotes. I did not expect you to speak on Bradley Beal in that monotone. But Marcus the Alphabets, go ahead with that monologue, brother.
Give me Jason Tatum. I like Jason Tatum, and yes, I understand he didn't really have the greatest. He didn't really have the greatest finals, but I have faith in the kid. I see something in the kid. It's just something I kind of like about him. And sometimes you got to get your brains kicked in a little bit. You know, you got to have that get lumped up a couple of times in playoff. For all those people out there that say Michael Jordan's the greatest, and in my opinion, he's the greatest. He took a couple of lumps from them bad boy Pistons. He took some lumps upside his head. And sometimes, Jason Tatum, how old is he?
24 at most, I believe. 23, 24.
You're gonna get your opportunities, but that's how you end up being battle tested. Those Golden State teams, they got lumped up a couple of times by the Spurs. You gotta generally go through somebody or go through some type of adversity. I think Jason Tatum will come out. I think he'll come out of this the better player, a mentally tougher player. So give me. I like Bradley Beal, but I really like Jason Tatum. So give me Jason Tatum.
I think a closer conversation instead of Tatum Beal is Tatum Butler. To be honest with you.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. First of all, I'm not respecting the fact that y'all keep disrespecting my man Bradley Beal like y'all doing. Number one, I do not like the disrespect in this room because what I witnessed Jason Tatum, I don't care how young you are or what platform you was on. When you say you want it, you go get it. And you had the opportunity to go get it, but you didn't go get it. You went and gave it away. By the 100 turnovers that you had in a single postseason. And I don't want to hear no excuses, Marcus Betts, because it looked like you ready to utter your lips.
Are the Golden State Warriors the dynasty of this generation, of this era?
I'm talking about the whole postseason. I'm talking about the whole postseason, not just the Golden State.
But you still gotta get through. They won those other series, right?
That's nice. They won those other series.
Yeah.
You literally, wait a minute.
The stuff that you see,
you literally was getting Kobe Bryant talk. You literally, quote said it earlier. You literally was getting Kobe Bryant talk. Yeah. See, I'm the type of guy. If you get great spectacle, media spectacle, and then you deliver a doozy, or I gotta go back and look up the Price is Right fail horn for your finals performance, and I gotta play it. Not quotes, and I gotta play it. You're gonna get some heavy criticism.
Okay.
Bradley Beal, hold on. Bradley Beal literally had to play with John Wall, play his position with John Wall. Then play with Russell Westbrook, and he still elevates his game. Now, here's the thing. I get it. He's been playing with the Wizards. The Wizards ain't magically found no Waverly place that looks like a playoff, okay? Yeah. And by no stretch of the imagination. Barely, right? But Bradley Beal, if you would have put him on that Boston team in the finals, sir, I don't know if Boston goes home in 6. Because Bradley Beal is going to give you 30 points. He's going to give you a consistent bucket, okay? Unlike Jason, he ain't related to him, but he got a movie star last name in Tatum, in which he didn't do it. Yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't get it done. So, Bradley Beal, to me, I'm taking Bradley Beal. And as much as everybody like Jason Tatum, I get it. He may play defense better, but I think Bradley Beal is a better offensive player. I think he's more consistent offensively, and I think he's been through the trenches more than him.
Jason Tatum.
Sometimes you're also limited. You're limited by where you play.
Jason Tatum looks like the Chinese food.
So let me ask you this: how well would Dame Lillard be playing if he wasn't playing up in Portland?
Oh, Dame Lillard probably would have a chip if he wasn't playing in Portland.
You think? I mean, sometimes it's just.
That's what I'm saying with Bradley Beal.
But it's not that you're choking. Sometimes you're just on bad. You're on bad teams. Again, jumping back to the Allen Iverson debate, when you're basically out there by yourself and you leave your heart on the floor every time, you can't blame that man for that. Now, you know what, Dre? It just amazes me. It just amazes me.
Jason Tatum.
It just amazes me. You know what? I need that same energy when you're sitting up there. Just 10 minutes ago, weren't you just defending Aaron Rodgers? Weren't you?
Yeah.
Did he pee all over himself?
Hold on. The same way you were defending Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott couldn't hold that. I'll say it. Dak Prescott couldn't hold Aaron Rodgers' jockstrap. He couldn't. Right.
You know it.
Okay, but when you keep losing,
that's not true at all.
I'm a
Cowboys fan.
I'm taking. I am too. I'm taking Dak over Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my! What?
Also, Also, if you replace Jason Tatum with Bradley Beal in that finals, the Celtics are getting swept, by the way. Just know that.
Somebody else said that yesterday, too, when we had this conversation. Somebody said that they would have got swept.
Yeah.
Why? Because Curry would have went for 60?
Yeah. A game. A game.
And Clay that might have came out of his coma too.
Man.
Clay might have acted like an actual NBA player in that finals.
I had to do it twice. I can't believe you, quotes.
I will say this to defend Jason Tatum, because you was on Jason Tatum a little too hard, even though I am too, but only because of the Kobe stuff. I will say this. Look at that Eastern Conference Finals. Let me take you through one possession. Any random possession. Just imagine you're Jason Tatum. It's the Eastern Conference Finals against the Miami Heat. You're being guarded by Jimmy Butler. Then they switch. You're being guarded by PJ Tucker. Then they switch again. You're being guarded by Bam Adebayo. Come on, yo. Come on. He was in fits that whole 7-game series.
He was giving them fits. He was. And they was deep, which is the reason why I thought Boston. See, hold on, time out, though, quotes. I'm the guy who had Boston going all the way to the finals this year, and nobody wanted to believe that. I heard Milwaukee. I heard Miami. I heard every other team that you could think of except for the Boston Celtics. So I ain't taking nothing away from that. But you was in the finals. You wanted it, Jason Tatum. You wanted to start him, and then you gave us a once again.
He took Kobe.
Oh, because he was compared to Kobe?
When he sent that text to Kobe, that made me so mad.
Sometimes you're just outgunned, man. Sometimes you get to the Super Bowl and you are outgunned. Just plain and simple. Or you get to the championship game and you're outgunned. Everybody keeps bashing Charles Barkley. Do you know how many careers Michael Jordan made incomplete because he was beating people's he played in the Eastern Conference against Reggie Miller, right? Reggie Miller never had no they played at the same time. Patrick Ewing, the Knicks used to always have to go through the Bulls, right? Is Patrick Ewing one of the greatest centers that ever played?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Then you get to so those are the Cleveland Cavaliers back in the day. Then you get to the NBA Finals. He beats Clyde Drexler. He beats Clyde Drexler and Robinson. Was it Clifford Robinson? Clifford Robinson and them boys over there. Then you beat Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Okay? Was that one of the greatest duos ever? And then you beat the Utah Jazz twice. And Utah Jazz with John Stockton and Karl Malone. And then you beat Charles Barkley his MVP year. And Charles Barkley, 30 years later, is sitting up on TV getting teased. Oh, you don't know nothing about championship. Because I had to go through Michael Jordan. I lost to Michael Jordan, bro. I lost to Michael Jordan. It's not that I'm a bad player. I had to see Michael Jordan, my MVP year. Karl Malone lost to Michael Jordan, his MVP year. So it's not that you're a bad player. Sometimes, man, you just in history, you run into that guy in your history, you know, the guy who's the man in that era, and you just can't get over the hump. It's not that you're a bad player. Allen Iverson has a championship if it ain't for Shaq and Kobe, right? That Philadelphia that 76ers team was awesome. Allen Iverson gets into it, and they get what they won one game against Shaq and Kobe, and they had to call SVU they had to call Special Victims Unit on Shaq because he was beating up Mutombo so bad. Y'all remember that? He beat Mutombo into the ground, man. Theo Ratliff. Come on, man. It ain't that you're a bad player. Sometimes you just run into that dude, man. Right now, Golden State's that dude. What does Mark Jackson say? Mama, there go that man. That's Golden State Warriors, man. Mama, there goes that man. That's just what it is. It ain't no shame in losing to the Golden State Warriors. Sometimes you just keep running into that man. You know? Aaron Rodgers keep running into Jimmy Garoppolo. Josh Allen keep running in Mahomes.
Chill out. Watch out. I'm mad that you keep doing that too. You keep mentioning
Aaron
Jimmy
Rodgers is
Garoppolo.
lucky he ain't never running to Dak Prescott, man. That's all I know.
What's that?
What?
Aaron Rodgers just lucky he not running into Dak Prescott. Let me tell you.
No, they played one time in the playoffs and
Twice,
that
sir.
Was it twice?
I thought it was once.
Twice, sir. Yes, we booted that twice. Don't get it twisted. And we booted your boy too. Who was that? Romo? Romo got
Dez
booted.
caught the ball.
Yeah, you've only played. Was that the Dez Bryant catch?
Dez caught the ball.
We played Dak twice. Once in the playoffs, once in the regular season. He got booted both times. Yeah. Both times he got booted. And Dez then we ain't talking about that. Oh, you can say Dez caught whatever. You can say whatever you want to say about Dez catching whatever.
I'm still hurt about that.
I will say this though, quotes. I had to tell all my people this though. Here's the thing about it. I tell people all the time: the football gods giveth, and the football gods taketh away. Quotes. Have you ever seen somebody get a penalty, a holding or pass interference penalty, and at the end of the play they pick up the flag? You ever seen that before?
Oh yeah.
The Cowboys should not have been in that playoff game against them that week. They should have lost to Detroit the week before.
Yeah.
So I just look at it. That's just that poetic justice, man. That's that karma kicking in, man. They shouldn't have even been there that game.
Tony Romo should have got his ring that year. He's the best quarterback of all time.
And they had beat. I think that was. I think Seattle won that year, didn't they? It was Seattle,
Dallas
right?
would have beat them.
And they had beat Seattle earlier that year.
Dallas had the best quarterback on and Tony Romo, the best quarterback ever.
I don't know about Tony.
Best quarterback of all time, Tony Romo. You here, man.
Quotes. You got some jokes today. You running the troll segment right now? The trolling.
I'm a big
segment?
Romo guy, man. Always have been.
All right, I got another one. Make two. You pick two. You pick two. You gotta get one or drop the other. Martina Navratilova or Serena Williams. Yes, sir. And I'm saying that because I'm sure y'all just saw Serena Williams just get booted in the first round. In the first round of the Wimbledon.
Yeah, but Serena's old, dude.
Serena dated Drake. She wins by default.
Sabrina needs to go ahead and, she's at that age now. You get to that age and you're just kind of, you're out there with these young girls now. What's that one girl? Osaka.
Naomi Osaka.
You're just she's the girl now. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing the matter with it. You get to a point in your career where them young pups are coming up, and you just can't get over them young pups. I mean, that's just what it is. Tom Brady's time is coming. He's fought it off for a little bit, but these young guns, they're coming, man. The Josh Allens, the Herberts, the Burrows, they're coming, dude. That's just what it is, man.
Herbert is not coming, man.
Herbert is, man. You got to give Herbert his respect.
Hasn't even touched the playoffs yet, and they anointed him the next guy. This is disgusting. Tua's going to have a better year than Justin Herbert this year.
No, he won't. No, he won't.
I told you, Quotes is running the troll segment right now.
I really do not believe in Justin Herbert whatsoever. That's like genuine. I do not believe in him.
All right, so since we on football, we might as well touch on this right now. We did not touch on this during the show. We got to touch on it before we go. Damn, hour and 20 minutes already? Jesus. Deshaun Watson settled 20 out of 24 cases.
His thing was supposed to be today, right?
Yeah, the hearing started today.
Yeah, it started today. The NFL hearing started today, in which there are reports that he will be suspended indefinitely.
And they'll revisit it in a year.
In a year, yeah. Do you think that that's actually going to be the suspension, less or more?
I don't think he's playing this next year. I've been saying that. I don't think. Look, Alvin Kamara got into some crap during, was it the Pro Bowl? Yes. They're talking about 6 games. They're talking about 6 games for him. They gave what, Brady 4 for deflated balls? You got 20. You had 24 cases. 24, and I thought he got up to 26 because 2 more girls. Every day somebody's popping up. And
I mean, Calvin Ridley just got a whole year for FanDuel.
I hear people, oh, well, this is the justice system. It's not. This ain't about the justice system. This is about, if you are at your job, okay, which the NFL is his job, right? And they keep getting complaints from they keep getting complaints. They don't have to wait for the criminal justice system. If the people are saying you're harassing women off duty and you're beating up your wife off duty and you're molesting your kids, I'm just using these as examples. They're very extreme examples, but your job will take that into consideration because it's like, you represent my company, dude. You represent my company. Now, if it was 1 or 2, and once again, we at the Rise Up family do not condone sexual harassment in any shape, form, or fashion. We're just saying, 1 is too many. You got 20 and counting. I think that, I thought that maybe they would have put them on the commissioner's exempt list, but it just keeps getting worse. And it's a PR nightmare. And then when you look at also what's going on with Daniel Snyder, stealing revenue and stuff like that. It's just, you can't have that stuff. So I think he sits out this year. He's only a $1 million cap hit. With one of the girls sued the Houston Texans today because they said that that the Houston Texans organization was enabling him. I just think where there's smoke, there's fire, and I think eventually it's going to get to a level where some people's feelings are going to get hurt, and somebody might mess around and lose their franchise. Daniel Snyder, he needs to be one of them. He don't need to own the Washington team no more. But
at all,
whoever McNair's son owns the Houston Texans, and I would not be surprised if they're talking about he's got to give that up, because it's just too much drama going on over there. We just saw the sale of the Broncos, and I just think that if another team becomes available, somebody make a nice deal to Dan Snyder or McNair with the Texans. But it just seems like there's a lot of mess going on in Houston.
Yeah, I was going to say Houston getting sued right now. I'm glad that you mentioned that the Houston Texans is getting sued. So I just wouldn't this saga ain't over. I think he definitely gets suspended for a full year. Definitely. I don't think there's a question on that. Quotes.
This is such a hard subject, man, and you always want to talk about this in a way that isn't disrespectful to the women involved, but also not incriminating Deshaun when innocent till proven guilty is still a thing. I think they need to get him out of here. I think the Browns are idiots giving him that contract, knowing what is going on. They're the biggest losers in all of this, not even Deshaun somehow. And that's how you know it's bad, when himself isn't the biggest loser in all this, and it's going to be another franchise. And it might be a couple franchises because the Browns are going to be losers in this, and the Houston Texans are going to go down bad for this as well. So it's really bad when 2 franchises are being looked at and possibly could end up worse in all this than Deshaun himself. Because let's say Deshaun doesn't get any jail time, but still gets suspended. Do we see him in the NFL again? And even if we don't, that contract is guaranteed fully.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. They once again, it's only a $1 million salary cap hit this year. Yeah. So if he sits out, where the proof is really in the pudding is going to be next year. And I think they kind of covered their ass with that, because look how much stuff has just come up in the past few months. Where will we be with this in a year from now when he's sitting around and more stuff starts coming out, And I just think it's going to get to the point that it's going to be such a PR nightmare for both the Texans and the NFL. I just think they're getting to the point where it's just like, you know what? We made a terrible mistake, not knowing how this situation was going to be resolved. we jumped the gun on the whole Baker Mayfield thing. And look, no one has been more critical of Baker Mayfield than me. #bust. Y'all heard me say that over and over and over. Baker Mayfield was the best quarterback y'all have had in a minute. That's not saying much for the Cleveland Browns, but the proof of the point of the matter is he has been good for the Browns somewhat, considering all the Johnny Manziels that you've had in the Brady Quinns and the Tim Couches, so you didn't have a backup plan. And now this guy may not play and you might be stuck starting Jacoby Brissett. And then no one is giving you anything for Baker because they know that you have to release him because you've already signed his 5th-year option for $19 million. So you're just like you talk about a rock and a hard place. That's where the Browns are at. They handled this situation terribly, and they're just going to have to probably end up paying for it. So the Houston Texans are happy, though. I mean, for what they got, all of the draft picks that they got, but they're getting sued. So they're going to probably lose. They'll probably end up losing some draft picks and probably have to pay somebody some money. So it's an overall crappy situation. Your sound is off, Dre.
With that being said, this is a crappy situation because it has already been 90 minutes. Our 90-minute time limit for today has already expired. Now, with that being said, though, this show will never expire. It will continue on and on and on. As long as Marcus the Alphabets don't lose Dak Prescott.
You just worry about Jimmy G and hope he goes to the AFC. As long as he's in the AFC, hope he goes to a team in the AFC so you don't have to see Jimmy G no more.
Oh, Dre, to answer your question, I think I have an answer to players with multiple championships and no top 75 teammates.
Yeah.
I want to strongly hope this is the answer because I know he did win one with Kawhi at the end, but I want to say Tim Duncan because those first 4 did not come with.
That's the correct answer. The correct answer was Tim Duncan. Yep. Now Kawhi is his top 75 player now, but when he won the championship, he wasn't then. So yeah, correct. Tim Duncan was the correct answer. With that being said, listen, be real because it's been real. It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. with that being said, yo, me and Marcus and Quotes gonna talk about this coming up this week, man. I know ain't a lot of sports stuff on TV, so we want to give you sports talk maybe twice a week. We'll talk about it. I'm projecting that Thursday is probably the best day. Monday and Thursday, we probably get a Monday and Thursday thing going. Just make sure y'all support us when we do. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll put it on there. WDAP Radio, WDAP TV. Shout out to y'all. This has been the Rise Up Unlimited radio show for the Fire Starter. For Quotes and my guy, Mr. Friday Night Lights, Mr. Alphabets. Take them home, Marcus.
Yay. See ya.